special technique of shadow boxing.
A couple of days ago, I made this box. I wanted to use the box as the metaphor for this particular assignment because I think it's pretty applicable. So we start with intersectionality. In order to make the box, we needed the intersectionality of all the tools. We needed hardware, we needed the actual tools themselves, and we needed the materials. I see all those different tools and the hardware and the materials as the individual intersectionalities that make up the people that also make up the group. Intersectionality can be defined by an individual's race, age, class, ethnicity, gender, anything like that that makes up the individual pieces of the person. Box, on the other hand, represents the group. If we take a look inside the box, what we find are all those individual intersectionalities that make up a whole team. When I work with a group, or for example, build a box, I like to use the process of forming, norming, performing, storming, and then re-norming before we start to perform again. Now, what I find super cool about this process is the cyclical nature of it. We start here with forming, and we move down to norming. That's where we're establishing our rules of engagement, so to speak. And once we've normed, we swoop down here to performing. Now we're actually going to perform the tasks assigned to us. But once we start performing, we may realize that some of our norms aren't being followed, or that we need to change something a little bit to match the different intersectionalities of our group. Instead of going full circle, we come back to re-norming. Now, here's where it gets super cyclical. The re-norming process takes us back to performing, takes us potentially back to storming, back to re-norming, to performing again, to storming again, back to performing, storming, re-norming. And this is where we enter a full circle. But what we're going to focus on in particular is the storming process. If we continue to use the metaphor of the box, the storming is a lot like conflict. And in building the box, there certainly was some conflict. Now this is where storming comes in. I did not measure twice and I cut once. As you can see in some places, I haven't quite finished. But the conflict of the box, as you can see here, go into your home, is an important step for me to go through in order to make sure that the box comes out as well as I want it to come out. It also gives me a chance to learn, recreate, and do a different design next time I want to build a box or form a team. In the 20 years that I've been facilitating workshops, I've never come across someone who is completely comfortable with conflict. What I have found is that I've had so many different experiences that have prepared me to understand and work with conflict. I don't see it as something you have to work against. Using communication activities, personality profiles, activities that deal with trust. These are all experiential activities. What we can do is we can put people in places where they start to understand and appreciate their own intersectionality. With that will come conflict. All that I'm suggesting here is that there might be certain questions that are right for a certain time. There might be times when you have to tell the group, we're going to take a pause for a minute. Or there might be times when we have to address something after we're done with the group, maybe with one or two individuals outside of the full group process. Overall, am I comfortable with conflict? No. Sometimes it makes us a stronger team as long as there is an active reflection. As long as that reflection happens, I'm learning to grow and to be more comfortable with conflict. Back to that metaphor, it took all the tools, the hardware, and all those different intersectionalities in order to come together as one group, or in my case, one box. So, catch y'all later.
And now, Kim and Cookie.